So what happens when a team that's missing its star player has to walk into a hostile arena to face another team that's absolutely desperate to end a long losing streak? Well, you get a gritty, tough-as-nails NBA battle. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. The San Antonio Spurs' wild victory over the Indiana Pacers. This one was a game of massive momentum swings and some pretty unlikely heroes.
I mean, think about it. The Spurs are on the road, they don't have Victor Wembanyama, and they're facing a team that is just chomping at the bit for a win in front of their home crowd. So how in the world did they manage to pull this one out, especially when it turned into an absolute physical war?
Okay, so here's the setup. On one side, you've got the short-handed Spurs, and on the other, the Indiana Pacers, who are just staring down this agonizing 11-game losing streak. You can just feel the tension, right? It's survival on the road versus sheer desperation at home.
And right out of the gate, the Pacers came out breathing fire. Their guard, Andrew Nembhard, was just electric. Get this, in the first 6 minutes of the game, he personally outscored the entire Spurs team. It really looked like it was going to be a very, very long night for San Antonio.
But then, Stephon Castle just decided he wasn't having any of it. The source material called his effort sheer will, and honestly, that's the perfect way to put it. He flat out refused to let Indiana run away with this thing, basically single-handedly keeping the Spurs' heads above water.
And, that early fight really set the tone. This wasn't just going to be a regular basketball game. It was turning into a bruising, physical battle for every single inch of the court.
And to give you an idea of just how intense it was, the source estimates that players from both teams hit the floor over 70 times. 70. I mean, the physicality was so nuts, they compared it to an SEC football game. Just an absolute grind.
But somehow, through all of that physicality, the Spurs found their rhythm. In that second quarter, their offense just caught fire. It was led by De'Aaron Fox and the rookie Dylan Harper, and they shot a blistering 8 for 10 to start the quarter, building up a nice, comfortable lead.
So by halftime, the Spurs had weathered that early storm and totally flipped the script. They went into the locker room up by 15. And at that moment, you're probably thinking, okay, they're in total control, game's in hand.
But you know how it is in the NBA, no lead is ever safe. And the third quarter was a completely different story. The Spurs' red-hot offense didn't just cool down, it completely stalled out.
I love how the source puts it. A little dramatic, but totally accurate. The Spurs fell off a cliff thereafter. And that's the thing. It wasn't some slow decline. It was an abrupt, complete disappearance of their offensive rhythm.
And the drop-off was just staggering. I mean, look at the difference between that second quarter surge and their third quarter freeze. As Indiana dialed up the physicality even more, the Spurs' shooting touch just went absolutely ice cold. They couldn't buy a bucket.
So that comfortable 19-point lead? Gone. It just completely evaporated. The Pacers guards led this furious rally, and all of a sudden what looked like a blowout was a two-possession game. The outcome was in serious doubt.
But just when it seemed like all the momentum was lost, like the game was slipping away, the Spurs found a lifeline from the most unexpected place, their bench. A group of reserves stepped up and became the unlikely heroes of the night.
First up, Keldon Johnson. With the offense in a deep freeze, he comes in and knocks down 3 enormous three-pointers. And these weren't just points. These were dagger shots that completely stopped the bleeding and stabilized the entire team. Just huge.
And then you have the rookie, Dylan Harper, who was just stellar. He comes off the bench and pours in 22 points, providing that consistent scoring punch that the starters desperately needed at that point. I mean, what a massive performance.
And finally, there was Kelly Olynyk. Now, his impact doesn't always jump out at you from the stat sheet, but his all-around hustle was a complete game changer. He was everywhere, making all those little plays that don't get the glory, but they add up to a big win.
So this right here breaks down what the source actually called the sequence of the game. In one incredible stretch, Olynyk delivered a spinning drive and scoop for a score. Then, a deflection causing a turnover. Then, a huge block on Pascal Siakam. And he punctuated the whole thing with a decisive tip jam. It was a masterclass in hustle that swung all the momentum right back to San Antonio.
And that collective effort from the bench, it wasn't just some feel-good story. It was the decisive factor. It was what actually secured the victory.
So when the final buzzer finally sounded, the Spurs had held on for a 123-113 win, a 10-point road victory without their star after nearly collapsing. I mean, that is the very definition of a character win. And the box score really tells the whole story.
You can see the balanced attack from the Spurs. You got Fox and Castle leading the starters, but then that massive lift from Harper and Johnson off the bench. For Indiana, yeah, Siakam and Nembhard were great, but in the end, the Spurs' depth was just the difference maker.
Which really leaves us with one last tantalizing question. This game was won by the reserves, right? So if the bench can go out and win a brutal road game like this on their own, what is this Spurs team's true potential when everyone is healthy? Now that is a fascinating thought to end on.